I'm going down shopping since the last 15 days. I have to get my supplies, the essentials, bread, the meat, because I've used most of it up now. So I have to go down necessarily to get the supplies. And I'm thinking of going through Ayala this time to have more, because in Country Mall they're not complete anymore and they haven't replenished most of the items. So there's again a military check here, like this is the one I've experienced last time, that every 5 cars there's some military who check your pass and how many passengers in the car. I'm the only one because I'm the only one having an enhanced community card. I haven't cleared out the window. And this is what we are. If we go around the city, we're queuing up here on this area called near the University of San Carlos, because there's always a check for the pass and check of how many passenger is inside a vehicle. Actually, this is also delayed because like the groceries only open until 6 o'clock and they don't open until 10. That's the limited hours, and it's getting harder now. This is going to be prolonged, but for everyone's safety, of course, we just have to comply. And I'm the only one. My 2 members of my family don't want to go out at all, but me as the mother, I have to make sure that they're well fed and all the food available be there. So I have to do this, but at least I've done this. The last time I went down was 15 days ago, 15 days ago, something like that. So this is now I hope that this will be my last before it restart opening, because it will be extended until May 31st. So we are now on the 20th or 19th. So hopefully this is my last going down for the essential groceries I need. And then I could wait for it to be back to normal. It's very hot today in the Philippines. You can see how hot it is by the screen. And a lot of people start to go out more. I think they're bored in their house. They're just going around for the sake of going around. I've noticed it. It's more now, because when I used to come here 12 days ago, it's not as long as this. So I'll just switch on when I pass all these things. So I'm gonna go now. So I got past Country Mall and I'm heading on my way to Ayala Mall. So what I want to talk about on this drive is my story, why I became interested in land. 20 years ago, a family member sold me some land at 5 pesos per square meter. Sounds very lucrative offer because it's so cheap. Now I was told that there's a view on the land. It's such a big land. It's about 6 hectares. At 5 pesos, that cost me about 300,000 only. So I haven't seen the land. I bought it out of trust of this family member, because he don't seem to be the sort that will swindle me. Then when I send the money, because before anyone could get it, and it's not here in Cebu City, it's in another place, but still around Cebu City. So I was still naive at that time about how the land system works here in the Philippines. So I just trust it's a family member that sold this to me. So more unlikely he will not dupe me. So after I paid all that, and then I've discovered that the land may have view, but you have to go to the highest peak of it, like the hill. It's within the land, and the view is so far away. And the worst thing, there is no access. You gotta cross another field before you reach the land. And second, the paperwork is only tax declaration. And I discovered then that half of it you can't even title because it's watershed. So I was so sorry that Old B has to pay for that one. And my family member was the one duping us. And so I said to Old B, I want to learn how the Philippine land system works. So I take up another course in preparation for my law studies. The foundation of it, you need another 4-year course. My qualification at that time doesn't qualify for that foundation course that is required. So you gotta get an exam to get into law school. So I went and taking all that, passed through law school and all. And then I took another year because I discovered when I was in law school that it's not even touched. They're only scratching the surface. It's not even discussed. That's why I'm not surprised a lot of lawyers are not familiar with land. I took another year of study just about land because I want to handle my own transactions myself. Now, all this information that I'm sharing with you on how to deal with your land, it's not just out of wishful thinking. I am a land practitioner. When I studied all this, it is for my own benefit, and now I'm sharing it to you. I wish there was a YouTube channel before that I could go through and ask a knowledgeable person about these things. A knowledgeable person that's not after anything just to share her knowledge or his knowledge. There's none. It's either there's no YouTube at that time. So I had to do it myself. Now, what I mean is, even your own family members will not hesitate to make money out of you. It happened to me twice. I have an auntie as well. Before this one with my auntie, before I even met OB, we were in this quarter, we were rumored to be kicked out anytime soon. So I keep on saving business here and that, so I could save for a little plot that we can move in. And my auntie assured my mother that, I own this plot. You just pay for this amount. And 35,000 pesos at that time is really big money for a young girl like me. I was 21 years old at the time. So that 35,000 that I gave my auntie, only to discover that the land that she's talking about is in the bank. That 35,000 is only a down payment that she wants, and she wants me to take it out from the bank because it's already almost on the repossession stage. And I don't even speak to my auntie now. I don't have nothing to do with her. And top luck, she's so many times she attempted to see me, to consult on something, to do on something, all the something, but you should have not duped me with a 35. It cost you a lot more. The same thing with the other family member that also swindled me with the land. I just can't believe it, that actual family members are the one like screwing you about with your money. I mean, dupe you with your money. This is, I think some of you that is familiar with these things already experienced that your own family members are the one that's duping you with your money. can relate to this. I have my own experience. That's why I made myself know how the land system works here in the Philippines, how property works here in the Philippines, because I have to specialize myself on that one. When I discovered in law school that they're just touching the surface, a lot of lawyers don't understand about it. So when I got people that I don't know what I'm talking about, when I was having a video about land, it just makes me laugh, because these are actually foreigners who's telling me about this, that, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, you're a killjoy, we are exempted from your constitution. When I tell them that you cannot buy land here, you're a foreigner, there's no such thing, that you're the only one who's got a condo certificate, while the rest have a transfer certificate, which is a house and lot. So it's a green light now. I have to turn. I'm actually just holding my camera. So I'm going inside Ayala to get a better supply, because Country Mall is very limited. So I had to turn off because I need to turn down the window. I've done all my shopping there in Ayala Center supermarket. So I'm now going back home after I pick up the Indian takeaway, of course, for Old B, because it's only that he can have a takeout if I go down. And also, like, sometimes he really push it on once I did just get down for the takeout, but that seldom happens. Yeah, talking back to what I'm saying about me learning all about the land processing here in Cebu. So I believe that what the information I've been sharing you is more authentic than one that's trying to sell you something. I am not selling you anything. It's up to you if you want to listen to a proper information that I'm sharing, because I don't want you to have to pay for the mistakes that I have made in the past. Now, I got a lot of questions asked to me by some of my viewers that when they buy land, first of all, you need to check what are the documents that land is holding on you are looking at. Is it a title or is it a tax deed? Now, if it's a title, of course, that seems to be very authentic and reliable. Now, you also have to do your own check, because, like I said, there was one foreign blogger that's showing a land. One look at it, I know it's a fake title. For you to check the authenticity of a title is you go to the municipal registry of deeds, or if you're in a city, if the land belongs to a city, is the registry of deeds of the place. Get a certified true copy of the title. If it's the same as the title as you're holding, then it's real. It's registered in the same registry of deeds. Because there are a lot of scams going on, like the title, even if it's authentic, and it just happened that the one that's had the same copy of the same title put her name on it, although she didn't own the house and lot, is very close to the one issuing the title inside the registry of deeds. So she was able to get one just for having a loan. And the owner of the house stayed in America. It's an old woman. When she retired, she was shocked to know that this other woman that's renting on her, had the title to her house and lot. Then it goes to court. The one that's the renter who had the title to the house and lot lose after 12 years. So you don't want to go to that kind of, because justice system here is so very slow that you will think that there's no justice, but there is, but it's just very slow. The courts are clogged up with all the cases. And another thing is, who is selling you? Is it the person that's the name is on the title, or is it just an heir? because it matters because of the taxes that you gotta pay. If it's if your agreement is for her to sort all the taxes, then that's fine if she does it, he or she does it, your seller. Because if it's just an heir, there is an obligation of estate tax from the person that she inherited it from, or if better that the person that owns the land still alive, then you won't be lumbered with estate tax. And that will be an original title. And also another thing that you have to consider, I'm still talking about titled land. What part of the land are you buying? Is it just a portion, or is it the whole land that is registered on the title? If it is a portion, that will require a different process. You need to have a geodetic engineer to measure the part that you're buying, then have it approved in the DNR or the Bureau of Lands that's in DNR that you are buying a portion of the big title, of the mother title, and it have it approved first before you can even start transferring anything out of that title. Like buying a road lot, I had a geodetic engineer there that measured it, and as of the moment we are just pending going in the Bureau of Lands because they have all the plans drawn, all the description, the bearings has been put on document for the approval of the Bureau of Lands. But because of this what's happening right now, that's why it's pending. And when it's get approved, then you get the mother title and break it apart from there. You will end up with two titles, the mother title and the remaining on that one, and your own new one. Usually the buyer is the one paying for all that because every title has been paid, but it depends on your negotiation with the seller. And of course, what I do is I usually pay for all the taxes when I buy land, because I want to make sure that it's paid, because so many cases that the seller is the one that's holding on to the payment of the capital gains tax and been using it and cannot pay the capital gains tax. That's why it cannot be approved, it cannot be transferred, because they're using the money, you know. That's why when I buy land, I also take into consideration the taxes that I'm gonna pay, because I would rather process the tax paying, process the documents myself than having the seller to process it, because 9 out of 10 it will become like that. They can't even transfer it to your name because they have used the money they set aside for the capital gains tax, and you will be waiting until they have the money and you still end up paying it yourself because you want the land transferred to your name. So another thing that about the title, titles can be deceiving as well. That's why you need to make sure the authentication, get a certified true copy in the registry of deeds on your place, municipal or city. So you make sure that it's the same title you're looking at. It will be the same title that's got registered in the agency of the government. Now, with tax declaration, that is quite hard, because with tax declaration you are not actually buying the land, you're actually buying the usage of the land, because it's not titled. Anyone who had the tax declaration in their name had the right to use that land. But if the government's gonna use the land, you are not you can just be kicked out anytime, especially if the land, that's why it's tax declaration, because it cannot be titled, like timberland, forest, watershed, and park, public places intended for the public. So that's another thing you gotta be careful with your land purchase, is that documents. Number one, that's why I'm explaining to you the different documents that is available here, the title and the tax declaration. Especially in far-flung provinces, most of it are tax declaration because people find it so expensive to process the title. It is quite tedious, takes a long time, and it does entails you to have to spend money on just titling the land. And so it's better that if you buy the land, it's already titled, but then you had to be careful that the title is authentic, original, and the person that selling it to you, what is his position in regards to the title? Is he the owner? Is he the heir? Or is just the agent? Because me, when I buy land, that's one thing I want to check. What is the position of this person that's selling me the land? What is the position of that person in regards to the name on the title? But a tax declaration, you think some of these foreigners don't understand a tax declaration is not a title. They're selling you land that's tax declaration, and the reason some of the lands are tax declaration because it cannot be titled. And if you miss a few months, you haven't paid the land taxes on it and somebody else paid for it, the tax declaration can be transferred to their name. That's how the tax declaration is not a solid proof that it cannot be taken away from you. And that will be, most of the buyers don't want headaches. And if you're not familiar with how the land system works, I suggest that you should buy land with titles. And another thing, very important, is does your land have access, the right of way? Because there are rules of the right of way. It's not just demanded. Now, owners want you to pay for the right of way. So that's another thing you'll be looking at if you're buying land, is the access of that land with regards to the main road, with regards to the provincial road, so you are not landlocked. A lot of lands around here do not understand that, and they end up being landlocked and had to go to court to fight for the access towards their land. That's why I have to build the budget bungalow, because I forced them a while ago that I will buy the land where their bungalow is to make a road for my plot on the back. And see what happened. I paid them the money, they still haven't moved. So this the same thing about paying the taxes. Some of the sellers are very what do you call this, conning people, because they'll say they pay the taxes and then use the taxes set aside for paying their capital gains tax, and you'll be wondering why you still haven't had any process on that land, because they have not paid the taxes, and you're still gonna be ending up paying the taxes so it can be transferred to your name. And so that's another headache that you're gonna meet. That's why I suggest that if you can negotiate that you will be the one paying the taxes deducted from the selling price, and you'll be the one processing. If you cannot trust them to do the processing, then that will be safer for you, because of course it will be making sure that the processing of transferring to your name, breaking the whole title apart, taking out the portion rather of what you bought from, if it's a mother title, and then leave them with their own title. Because if you rely on the buyer, most Oh, you're using the land. Anyway, it's yours now. We'll just take time to get the title, process the thing. We've used the money for the capital gains tax, and you'll end up paying double. You pay the whole amount, and then you pay again for another capital gains tax just because it be transferred. So I will I will explain it to you one by one. Right now, I'm just talking about titles, and the best way to buy land if it's titled is to check it with the Bureau of Registry of Deeds, the Bureau of Lands. If you have to, if it's farms, big farms, that's the Bureau of Land. You have to check who is the registered owner of that farm, if it's the one that's selling it to you, or the other person that, if he's just an agent. But documents first, and checking if all the taxes, that's the next step. Checking if it's all original, the person selling it to you is the owner, and if the heir, and then you come to an agreement that the heir will pay for the taxes. And if you can trust them, you should. But now I have to make sure that the taxes is paid, so I deduct it from the selling price, that I'll be the one paying. And I think I have to make a separate video just explaining this. I already made one before, tips on buying land in the Philippines, but I only got a few subscribers at the time. But this is the sort of thing that I am so confident to tell you all what you want to learn about land here in the Philippines. I'm gonna have to stop here because loads of traffic, there's loads of holes on that road. I gotta stop.